Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video I'm going to be ranking Dance Moms group costumes, where the girls had individual costumes, and I'm going to rank them from least favorite to favorite. So essentially what that means is all the group dances where the girls had different costumes, I'm going to rank them based on which ones are my favorite and which ones are my least favorite. And if you have any opinions, comment them down below. I haven't seen anybody do this video, but I'm sure someone has and I just haven't seen it, but I'm also going to go through and list all the reasons as to why I chose these. So, starting off first, which is Season 1, Episode 6, Where Have All the Children Gone? Least favorite is Vivi. I didn't really like the layers of her dress, and I also didn't like that she wore bike shorts. In the picture that I'm going to put in this corner, she's wearing bike shorts, but I couldn't see if she was in the dance because all she does is sit on a swing. Not her fault, she didn't choreograph it, but just saying. Next is Paige. I didn't really like the crop top and the long skirt combo, it wasn't my favorite. And then number 5 is Brooke. Her dress was really short. I don't know if that was the intention or what, but I was like, whoa, you should not be wearing that. You are like 13. Inappropriate. Even though all of their costumes, for the most part, were inappropriate. Next is Maddie, and I liked her dress, it was cute, but the long sleeves weren't really my favorite. And then 3, 2, and 1, Kenzie, Nia, and Chloe, they all looked cute. I could rearrange them in any which order. It's kind of hard to rank the ones where they all have different costumes, but they're all the same color, in my opinion. So 3, 2, 1, Kenzie, Chloe, Nia, can be swapped. So the next one is Make You Mine, Season 1, Episode 7. And these costumes are a little bit more risque, but I'm just ranking them based on how I like them, not based on how I think they looked on 10 and 11-year-olds. Most of them weren't even 11. Most of them were 9 and 10. But anyways, so in 5th place I have Paige. I didn't really like the fact that she had pants and everyone had on skirts. I feel like it drew attention to her, and Abby always said that Paige was like the weak link or always had bad knees. So in my opinion, I don't know why she would have done that to kind of make her stick out, because it was like, oh, you have pants and everyone else has on skirts, we're gonna look at you. And I also didn't like the huge brooch on the side of her pants. And then Nia, I didn't like the crisscross neckline, so she's next. Number 3 is Brooke. The brooch again on her hip is way too big. Maddie, I really liked hers and she would have been number 1, but the shawl looked kind of weird and also made her stick out, but that was obviously Abby's intention because it's Maddie. And then in 1st is Chloe because I liked her neckline the most and it looked good. Again, I'm not ranking how they looked on the children because that's just weird. I'm strictly just ranking the costumes themselves. So up next we have Snapshot. Again, similar idea because they're in bathing suits. 5th is Brooke. Hers was really bright colors, and I didn't really like the color combination. Next is Nia, same as Brooke, but I did like her color combination a little bit more. I mean, they were essentially the same swimsuit, except Brooke had pink and yellow, and Nia had green and teal. Next is Paige. I liked the little ruffle, but hers was so skimpy. Like, her little ruffle basically covered all of her. So next was Chloe. I liked that hers was more covered up, but I didn't really like that hers was mostly black because I felt like the rest of the girls were more like fun pops of colors and hers didn't really fit in. And so in 1st was Maddie. I liked her color combo the most. I thought it looked the cutest. So next is It's Like Summer, which is Season 1, Episode 13, which, yes, is not technically a group dance, but I decided to rank it anyways because I wanted to. So in 6th place is Maddie. I don't like animal print, so if there's animal print, it's going to be ranked lower, so sorry, Maddie. You didn't choose it, but you get what you get. Next is Kenzie's. I didn't like hers. It looked like a swimsuit. Wasn't my fave. And then next is Paige. The gold didn't really go well with her hair. I get this as well because I'm a blonde. Not that you can really tell right now, but as a kid, I was more blonde. And I feel like yellow and like golds just don't really look the best on blondes in general. Some they can pull off, but for the most part. So I didn't really like that. And then Brooke is next. I thought hers was a good color combo. It was just kind of meh for me. It's fine, nothing wrong with it. And then next is Chloe. I liked their little accent sash, the sash around her waist. I don't really know what to call that. And yeah, it looks good. Glad she got the video, all of that. And then first is Nia. I liked that hers was different because everyone else had the little like sashes or whatever around their waist, but she didn't. And I also love purple, so I liked the little accents of purple. Next is Hurt Them First, which is season 2, episode 13. So we went a whole season where everyone wore the same costume. And last space is Brooke. It literally looks like she's wearing a bra over a bra. And I don't know who designed that. I don't know if that was the intention, but it looks terrible. I don't know how I never noticed that before until I actually looked at the costume, and then I was like, oh my god, why is she wearing 2 bras? And then I realized that's not it. That's just the appearance of it. And I hate that. Next is Paige. Again, wearing pants. Don't understand it. If you have everyone else wearing short, skimpy skirts, have them all wear short, skimpy skirts. Not that I approve of that, but it's just like, why exclude just Paige? And then again, it draws your eye to her, and if your whole point is to not have people's eye drawn to Paige, don't understand why you did this, but whatever. I digress. Next is Chloe. I didn't like her bottoms. They have like a weird little crisscross at the top of the waistline. Didn't like that. Next is Nia. I liked that her neckline was higher up to, you know, cover her up more in the skimpy costume. But it was just kind of plain and boring. Everyone else had more patterns. Next is Maddie. I liked the little accents on her top. And then number 1 is Kenzie. I liked that she had ruffles. They were really cute. Next is Glam. So this is when the moms made their costumes in season 2, episode 15. I didn't write all of these down, what episode they are, so I may start to forget. Sorry. So in 5th place is Nia. I really hated her hat. I'm sorry. I know it wasn't her choice, but the hat was terrible. And the rest of her costume was really just boring. Like, everyone else had more eccentric costumes, and she just had a hat and then a jacket that they cut up, and then a shirt and pants. And then next is Paige. I didn't like that her tights were cut off at the end. I feel like they should have just gone all the way, and then they could have all just worn jazz shoes, because I feel like the black jazz shoes would have gone with everyone's costume, so I don't really understand why that was the decision, but whatever. Next is Maddie's. Hers was just fine. I thought it looked cool. I just preferred Chloe's more. I liked her dress. It looks nice. And then I liked Brooke. She had a nice dress on, but she had more accessories. She had the little crown and the little zombie queen sash. Next is Land Unforgiven, and I know that they performed with 3 other girls, but I had a hard time actually looking at their costumes, so I'm just going to be ranking the main girls in the list. So, in last place, sadly again, is Nia. I didn't like her little coat that she had on with her dress. I didn't think it was necessary. Didn't understand why it was there. And then next was Maddie. I felt like her waistline was really high because it was like right under what would have been her bust, but she was like 10, so she didn't have one. And yeah, I don't know, it just looked weird. 4th was Kenzie's. She looked cute. It was a nice little dress. I liked that she had pigtails. Then again, Kenzie always had pigtails. Chloe, same as Ken's. Don't really know why I ranked her higher than Kenzie. They probably could have been switched or whatever. Next is Brooke. I liked the layering in her outfit. I thought it was cute. And then Paige, I liked the little bow on the front. Up next is the Last Text, the infamous Last Text dance, one that every Dance Mom fans know. In last, we have Maddie. I really don't like animal print, as previously mentioned, and I thought the color combination was weird, like the gold with red and black. I just didn't like it. Next is Kendall. She also had animal print, but hers was just red and black, so I liked it a hair better. Not really, though. 5th is Kenzie. I'm not really a big fan of dresses that like have the tulle and then have rose petals in the bottom of them. And then also they ruined it by running it over, but I understand that that was the concept, but wasn't my fave. Next is Nia. I really did like the red, but I just didn't like the sash. I felt like the black sash kind of didn't go well. Next is Paige. I really liked the all red, And Paige looked beautiful in that dance. It was so sad that she didn't actually get to dance and she was just, as Christy would say, a human prop. She did do a chin stand, so that's exciting. And then Brooke was next. I really liked all the sparkles. Hers was cute, but first place is Chloe. I liked the black and white combination. It looked good in my opinion. Next is Don't Ask, Just Tell. They all had different they all had the same pants on, but they all had different hairstyles and different shirts. So last is Maddie. I didn't really like the fringe at the bottom. And then Brooke also had the fringe at the bottom, so same with her, but I liked her hair better than Maddie's. It looked cute. Paige's was cute top, but her hair was just like a big side ponytail with like a bunch of curls. So it was like, looked huge. Nia's was cool. I liked that hers had like the rips in the shirt. It looked cool. And then Chloe looked cool. I liked the little tie. Her hair, I liked it a little bit less than who number 1 is, which is Kendall. I liked her hair. She had like the cute little like low pigtails. And then the sides of her shirt was the only difference, which I thought was cool. Next is Free the People. So again, the moms made these costumes. And last was Nia. I really didn't like that her costume was the only costume that was all blue. Everyone else had a combination of red and blue because it was supposed to be like an American dance. But hers was all blue and I didn't like it. Next is Brooke. I really didn't like her headpiece. I feel like it didn't fit everyone else in the group. Other than that, it was fine. Kendall's next. Her print was really small, so I feel like from the audience it would have been hard to tell what it was, whereas everyone else you could see more clearly what theirs was. Next is Chloe. I liked the bunting that Christy did in the back, but I didn't like the top. I didn't like that it was like opposites. It just didn't look the best. Next is Paige. I liked the little gold accents that she had on her costume. And then we have Maddie. I did like her headband and her top. She looked cute. But my favorite was Asia. I liked her little ruffle straps and then her little hair pieces. Alright, up next we have Children with Guns, or how it was portrayed on the show was Runaways. Controversy. In last place, again, I'm sorry, I have Nia. Nia looks like a pirate. Straight up looks like a pirate. I don't understand. If she didn't have that bandana, she probably would have been fine. But the bandana, it makes her look like a pirate. I swear, the second I saw that dance 10 years ago or whatever, I was like, Nia, why are you dressed as a pirate? We're supposed to be in school. Because this is a school shooting dance. I don't know why I was about to put quotations, but it's a school shooting dance, which in and of itself is a whole bunch of controversy, but Dance Moms is controversy, and that's why they didn't air it as Children with Guns, and they aired it as Runaways. Next up is Kendall. I didn't like her pants. They just looked weird. And then Asia, I didn't like her top. She basically just wore like a zebra print bra top. And also, again, they were supposed to be depicting children at school. No child, especially a 7-year-old, is going to be able to wear that to school. Like, not happening. Kenzie, I really didn't like her red shorts, and like her costume was really plain. Next is Maddie. Hers was also kind of bland. She just wore a black crop top, black skirt, and then had a red bandana or headband or something. So again, hers was just kind of bland. Brooke is next. I liked her top, but the reason why she's below Chloe and Paige is because their outfits looked more like they would actually be in school. Like, I could see people wearing those outfits to school. So they're number 2, and Paige is number 1 because I liked her color combo better. Alright, and next we have Gone Too Soon. Kendall is in last place. I really didn't like her shorts. I don't like pants like that where it's like plain in the front and then you got a skirt part in the back. It's just weird to me. I hate it. Don't do it. And I also hated her fake bangs. I hated her fake bangs. I remember when I first watched that episode, I looked at my sister and I was like, do you think she actually cut her hair into bangs? She was like, no, Sierra, those are fake bangs. And I was like, oh my gosh, you can get fake bangs? Why would you get those? They look terrible. Not that bangs look terrible, just those fake bangs in particular looked terrible. And then next we have Paige. Hers was fine. It was just really boring. Brooks looked like her character, but in terms of my personal style, I ain't wearing that. Next is Nia. It was cute, but I couldn't really tell. Like, obviously I knew she was Whitney Houston, but I feel like if I didn't know, I don't know if I would put that together. And then Maddie, same thing, looked cute. Not really sure if that was her character. And then Chloe looked the most like her character. If you saw Chloe, you definitely knew, oh, she's supposed to be portraying Marilyn Monroe. Alrighty, up next is Girls' Night Out, depicting Christy and Leslie fighting in Jackson Square in New Orleans. Sorry, so in last place I have Chloe. I hated that collar. That pink collar ruined it. If she didn't have that collar, I would have liked her costume a lot more, but I just hated it. I hated that collar. I hated it. The minute I saw that routine, I was like, ew, who designed that? Maybe some people loved it. I don't know, personally, couldn't get past it. Next we have Nia. I didn't like her neckline. And I also didn't like that her shorts were gray, but the color scheme was pink and black, but her shorts were gray. Didn't go with the theme. Next is Kenzie. I didn't like the one shoulder, and she had pigtails, which I think are cute, but if you were they were depicting girls' night out, like girls going drinking and doing whatever. You're not going drinking in pigtails. Again, I understand that Kenzie was 8 at the time, so it's fine for her to wear pigtails. But if you're depicting girls going out, you ain't wearing no pigtails. Not happening. And then Paige was same as Kenzie. I didn't like the one shoulder, but her hair was fine. Maddie's was okay. I didn't like her top. She had a different top. I think she would have been higher because hers was just a halfway zip-up hoodie. Next is Kendall. I liked the fringe on her top. It was cute. Next is Peyton. I liked that hers was a matching set. It was nice. And then Brooke is in first. Her top was cutest, in my opinion. Some people may differ, but I don't know. The next one is Riches to Rags, where they all wore the same dress, but then they all had on different sweaters or gloves or hats and whatever. I didn't really rank it. I tried to, but I just didn't really care that much. I was like, okay, well, you have on this sweater that has holes in it, and you have on this sweater that have holes in it. So I don't know. Couldn't really pick a favorite. Couldn't really pick a least favorite. Anyways, moving on. Next we have Frost, which this is the dance where Kelly had the costumes and she wouldn't return them, blah blah blah. I really wonder if production told her, because I think she was still trying to get out of her contract at that point. And they were like, okay, just don't give back the costumes. Whatever you do, don't do it. I don't know. Obviously wasn't there. If they discussed that in Back to the Bar, I'm a little bit behind on Back to the Bar, so if they did, this isn't me trying to guess or anything. So up next, and last is Maddie. I didn't like that she didn't have tassels. They all had tassels underneath their bra tops, and hers didn't, so that made her stick out, which I'm sure Abby, that was her goal, but I didn't like it. And then next we have Kenzie. Hers looks good. Plain, simple, fine. Same as Nia. Fine, simple, good. And then next we have Kendall. I liked her little skirt accent on the top of her skirt. It looked cute. Chloe's looked good, but I didn't like the little crisscross. But aside from that, it looked good. And Chloe's looked good, and I liked her skirt and top the most. And I think hers was actually the original costume, which I find kind of ironic because she wasn't even an original member of the team. But she got the best costume. Sorry, so next is Light as a Feather. So this is where they perform the slumber party Ouija board dance. So in last place I have Kenzie, because no one is letting their 8-year-old sleep in booty shorts and a crop top. I'm sorry, if your mom is, we need to have a sit-down conversation with her, because that is not okay. Again, I realize it's a costume, but going with the theme of the dance, not happening. Sorry, my dog just made a really weird sound. Next is Maddie. I really didn't like her hair. I thought it looked weird. I wasn't sure if it was supposed to look like curlers in her hair, because again, it was a slumber party. And I didn't like her robe. I mean, again, these are all just pajamas, so it's not gonna be the most extravagant costume, but I'm still just ranking them. Next is Chloe. Not her little black bodysuit underneath. I didn't really rank that because I figured that would be number one, obviously, so I just ranked the pajamas that she had over it. Same as Maddie, but I liked her robe better. And then next I have Nia. Nia's was a cute dress, looked fine. And then in first we have Kendall. Hers looked the most like actual pajamas, which again was the theme. And then next up we have Amber Alert. And last I have Nia. Nia's dress looked really formal, which I don't know if I made this up or not, but I thought she was being taken from the park. But then again, they're all wearing dresses, but the rest of the girls are more like casual dresses. So I didn't like that Nia's was super formal in comparison to everyone else's. And then next we have Maddie. Hers is also kind of formal, but a little bit less. And I also didn't like her waistline. Again, this is another thing I'm noticing because I mentioned that in another costume that her waistline was cut really high. And then next is Sarah. Sarah Reasons, not Sarah Hunt. I didn't like the tie on the side of her dress, otherwise it was cute. Kendall's looked cute. Nothing special, it was fine. Kenzie's was cute. I liked her little ruffles, and I liked that her and Nia got to have like a little special part because they weren't performing solos. And then Chloe's is number one. I thought her dress was the cutest. And I'm noticing now that this video is almost 22 minutes long, so I'm gonna do the rest in part 2. So if you like this video, make sure to comment down below and subscribe so you don't miss part 2. And I will see you guys next week. Bye.